Hello, my friends. Welcome to today's episode of the Secrets of a Witch podcast with me, Sabrina Scott. On this podcast, I talk about life, love, healing, witchcraft, magic, tarot, spirituality, and everything in between. Today's episode is about something that annoys me. And it can be so easy to get swept up into this and be brainwashed by the circumstances or by, your own fears or insecurities. And so the topic is as follows. Confident people don't try to undermine someone else's confidence. People who are genuinely happy in their lives don't try to poke holes in the happiness of other people. And it took me a lot longer in life to realize this than it probably should have. I realized a lot later than would have been ideal. But I think this is something that's really true, right? Because a lot of the time, especially if you're a woman, people will try to undermine you. A lot of people are really triggered by a confident, happy, content, stable, secure woman who is just impenetrable. A lot of people, and this includes women, a lot of people, men and women and all of the genders, like to see women feeling insecure. A lot of people like to see women be self-deprecating. A lot of people like to see women be humble and humbled. A lot of people, men and women and all of the genders, feel satisfied with themselves when they're able to find a woman who is confident, self-assured, loves herself, and is able to take her down a notch. Or when they feel like they're, trying to do that, right? So let's just think about that for a second. Some people actually want to take other people down a notch. Isn't that weird? Isn't that strange? Isn't that kind of psycho? Isn't that at the very least kind of unhealthy? I think it's reasonable to have a good understanding of our flaws and the things that we're really good at. So, for instance, I know that I am not the most organized. I procrastinate. I do not have the best time management skills all the time. I'm behind on bookkeeping and all of that shit. I'm not going to list out all my flaws, but those are some. And I think it's reasonable to have a healthy and balanced self-assessment of what you're not good at and also what you're good at. Because let's be real, nobody wins on this planet if you pretend to be bad at something that you're good at. You don't win. Whoever would be served by you performing that skill, they don't win. Whether that thing is art making or sports or whatever, baking. If you shine your light, everyone gets to benefit from that. If you hide your light, no one benefits. just the people or person or whatever who delights in making themselves feel big and better by pushing down someone else for no real reason other than just ego. And so you might be wondering, like, how do I know the difference? Like, what's the line? What's the difference between confidence and ego? And so I think ego is actually a healthy thing to have. In my opinion, I think if someone is not confident, if someone does not have a healthy ego, I'm a little bit skeptical about that, you know? But I think it's healthy to have confidence about what we're good at, because that just shows that we live in reality. It doesn't mean that we don't think we could, ever improve more. But I think it's reasonable to love on ourselves and to have some appreciation for our natural talent, for the hard work that we put in to get good at something. It makes sense to not be humble when it's inappropriate to be humble. And I really believe that humbleness has robbed the world of a lot of amazing art, a lot of great writing, a lot of amazing new food, a lot of innovation in tech or in the spiritual industry or whatever. And I don't mean that we should all think that, we're not human or that our shit doesn't smell or whatever. Like, I think arrogance and confidence can look similar if you're not paying attention. But someone who is arrogant doesn't believe that they have any flaws whatsoever, and they can't take feedback. At the same time, I think it's reasonable to have boundaries around what type of feedback we accept and from what type of person. Is the feedback from someone that we know and care about and admire and we really trust their judgment? Or is the feedback unsolicited from some random stranger on the internet? When we're thinking about feedback, we do have to consider the source. What's their intention? Who is this person? Do I even like this person? Do I even respect this person? Does this person want what's best for me, or are they just being demeaning and condescending and insulting me and putting me down with this fake veneer of, oh, I just care about you? And it can take a long time for us to untangle our brains from all of this stuff, especially if we grew up in particular ways. It can all seem really confusing, and it can all legitimately be very confusing. And it can be really hard to distinguish, like, the bottom from the top, or, like, up from down when we're first healing from a variety of things, right? Because in a lot of families, confidence was seen as a really bad thing. In a lot of families, confidence is something that's punished. In a lot of families, being proud of yourself is something that's punished. And in others, confidence is something that is encouraged. And in some families, kids are praised when they do something good or with skill. And so when we're untangling what is down and what is up and what is right and what is what and who we are, it can be really time consuming and it can be confusing, because when we're out in the world, people who don't know us are gonna have things to say. And some people who we don't know well are gonna be amazing and will be able to read us like a book and will be able to give us this amazing, heartfelt, heartwarming advice. And those people are fucking awesome. Right? And I think you can tell those people because of the way they deliver it, it's uplifting. Even if they're talking to you about a weakness, it's uplifting. And even if they talk to you about a weakness, it's not about trying to make you smaller. It's about realizing how much bigger you could be. And then there's other people who will just want to destroy you because you did not do what they wanted you to, or you saw through them, or you stood up to them, or you told them no, or you walked away. You couldn't be controlled. Right? And so some people will try to tear you down while they're pretending to want to build you up. And that is a typical abuse tactic. I've seen it so many times. I've read a lot about it. I've experienced it. And it's not the vibe at all. Not the vibe. And so with today's little episode on this weird full moon, I don't know what you guys are feeling the energy, but it's like Libra, Scorpio, full moon vibes are happening right now, and it's interesting. I'll say that. But it can be really difficult to untangle this. And so it's okay if it takes you time to figure it out. You might not figure it out overnight. It might take a little bit of trial and error, a little bit of education, a little bit of self-reflection, a little bit of soul searching. But I can tell that if you are someone who is in my sphere, if you're a regular listener of the podcast, if you resonate with my work and what I do, I'm willing to bet money that the problem that you most likely have is probably that you're not as confident as you should be, rather than that you're overly confident inappropriately. It's really important to me to spread this message of encouraging women, especially, to burn brightly and shine and share our gifts and dare to be ourselves and to dare to be confident. Because happy, successful people don't tear down other people. They might be able to notice what's wrong with folks, but they're not gonna dip their fingers in there, right? If I notice that someone is fucked up or whatever, am I gonna make it my business to insult them, to berate them, to give them a program to follow? No, I'm just gonna remove them from my existence, or take a step back, or divest my energy. Because that's just not how I want to be spending my energy. I don't get any joy from controlling other people. And so on the flip side, if you're someone who does find yourself critiquing and wanting to control other people, take a step back and be how can I look inwards? Could I be happier? In what ways is my lashing out at others just a very bad mask for how I lash out at myself every day? Ask yourself that. Because I think that is true for a lot of folks. Generally speaking, confident people don't undermine the confidence of others. If you're a genuinely confident, happy person, that is not what you want to spend your time doing, right? So my purpose for talking about this is there's anyone in your life, whether it's someone that you know, maybe it's a family member, maybe it's a friend, maybe it's a colleague, coworker, boss, maybe it's a random stranger on the internet, maybe it's someone you have dated in the past or are dating right now. If someone is trying to undermine your confidence and belittle you, I would like to ask, what value are they really bringing to your life? Wouldn't you rather spend time with people who uplift you, who can see your good parts and your bad parts, and who want to elevate you? Confident people encourage others to rise up to their level. They don't bat people down even lower. So if you're being trolled online, if you're being canceled, if you're just going through weird gossip, smear campaigns, whatever, remember what I've said in this episode. And I hope it gives you some confidence, some peace, because I do know how hard it can be to notice the difference between up and down when we're used to things being one way. And some people can be very good at their manipulations and they switch one thing the other way, and it's like, well, hold on, how did we get here again? So ground in yourself as much as you can on this full moon as it moves into Scorpio. Water sign of craziness. No offense to my Scorpio folks. My Mars is in Scorpio, so I get it. But it is a weird time. And so if you find yourself feeling topsy-turvy with this full moon, the shift in planets, the shift in season, come back to these insights and turn your mindset around a little bit if you need to. Okay, friends, that's it for today. Happy full moon. As always, do reach out. My email address is ceo@sabrinamscott.com. I've got a bunch of stuff going on right now that you'll probably be interested in signing up for. One of them is Recession Era Witchcraft, all about survival and thriving in these very weird recession-like times. So many different types of magic I will be talking about in that. And of course, Magic May, 31 days of Telegram group challenge, magic vibes. What else? I'm also going to be doing coaching and courses on feminine energy, and there's so much to say about this. I just sent out a newsletter on this the other day. Are you allergic to feminine energy? I'm going to be talking about that on the podcast shortly as well. And so if you want to hear about any of those opportunities for growth and learning and deepening your understanding of yourself and your place in the world, and deepening your healing, deepening your spirituality, deepening your sense of self, say hello. I'm happy to direct you in the which way that I believe will get you to where you want to go. You can say hi at ceo@sabrinamscott.com. Happy full moon. Bye.